Hi, my name is Avery Belyeu and my pronouns are she and her. I am the first openly transgender person to be a CEO of a large LGBT center in this country. We're the fourth largest LGBTQ center in the United States. It feels like a bit of a glass ceiling moment.
Montrose Center, this is Avery speaking.
I certainly feel that myself, that this is the first time for someone like me to be in a seat like this. I think is meaningful personally to me, and I think it's also meaningful for the community at large.
It smells like IKEA.
So I think the leadership that I'm going to bring is one that encourages a culture of listening and then working in collaboration, coming together around what we discover together through that process of listening and deciding together where we go next. So I've been working in the nonprofit sector for about 15 years, and I've kind of volleyed back and forth between working primarily in LGBTQ spaces and then working in spaces that focused on suicide prevention, behavioral health, and public health. So when I heard about this job, I will say it is the perfect marriage of all of those things that I have done across the last 14, 15 years. So caring for folks' wellness, for their behavioral health, their mental health, is really at the core of who we are as an organization. And so this place is a perfect marriage of all those things. This place is full of stories. It's full of stories of the folks who founded it because there was an urgent need, who built it during the heights of the AIDS crisis, right, in response to a community in crisis. It's made up of all the stories of the folks who work here, many of them for many, many years. So my hope is that I get to become one of those stories, that I'm woven into the fabric of those stories, and hopefully that I will leave this place a little better perhaps than I'm finding it. My core virtues in my own personal life are kindness and gratitude. And so I hope that those two things, kindness and gratitude, if I could leave anything, it would be a legacy of that for this place. Much like a lot of the LGBTQ youth who come to this place, I was a very vulnerable LGBTQ young person. My own family does not accept me for who I am. They rejected me, and I, in fact, haven't seen my parents in many years. And so I wouldn't be sitting here today if there was not a community of people who gathered around me, took care of me, and loved on me. So those folks, they know who they are, who saw how vulnerable I was, saw that I was not in a good place, and who just loved on me unconditionally, they're the reason why I survived. They're the reason why I'm here today. And what I love about this place is for LGBTQ young people who are vulnerable, much like I was, this building is full of people just like that. And if I could kind of talk back to my younger self and a version of my younger self, I think the thing I would offer is that, sometimes when you're in that place, folks tell you that your life is not going to be great, that the world's not going to love you for who you are. And unfortunately, you may be hearing that in the news or other places, that people are not going to love someone like you. But the reality is that for me, I can say that being trans, being queer, which is how I identify, it has been the most beautiful gift to my life. My life has been enriched by who I am, not despite of who I am, but because of who I am. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And so for young folks who understand that there's something different about them, they're trying to figure out what word might match, which one of the LGBTQ acronym might match for who they are, I would say, it's a beautiful thing to be who you are. It's not a deficit, it's not a loss, it's not a fault or something that you should be ashamed of. It's something to be proud of because it's going to mean that you're going to have a beautiful and rich life. On one side, we have a lot of visibility in the media and in movies and TV shows in ways that we never have before. But coinciding with that, we seem to have a lot of folks who misunderstand us and are confused, maybe even a little upset. If you're struggling to try to understand who we are, know that there's lots of opportunities to learn. And I think getting to know, and the research shows this, right, even knowing one person who is part of the community is different than yourself, getting to know them not as a title, not that they're gay or a lesbian or they're transgender, but know them as a human, that's the right place to start.